Another beautiful moment with my two beautiful friends. I'm so happy to be here. It's been a while. It feels it's probably over a month, but it feels like a while. That's nice to be here.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about The Matrix today.
Mhm.
Not the movie, but more like what we're actually in right now, that jello-like substance that we feel like we're in, and how we're moving into liquid water form, eventually vapor, ascending, basically. So
Okay.
let's go with very general question at the beginning. What is the Matrix?
It's the construct of the universe,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mhm.
know, how it's constructed, basically.
Right. And
Okay.
it fractals all the way down with the same construct. So yes.
Okay. And what does God or Prime Creator think about the Matrix? Make the Matrix.
I think that, and we'll just say he
Yeah.
Mhm.
comes in once in a while and says, maybe this could be. I feel like there's a lot of input from him, but also the beings that are actually creating are asking quite a bit,
Mhm.
you know, do you, does this feel good? Does that feel good?
Mhm.
Like constant feedback is going on. But I
Mhm.
think, he was ready for ascension to happen.
Yeah.
So that's why it's happening.
Yes. I see it like God's open dream, and it's infinite, and you can go and do and be and experience anything you want, but it's literally a God's open dream that we get to do all of these experiences in, and we can come in and out of it. Like in here, this is considered like a dream, a matrix, but
Mhm.
outside of it is outside of time and everything else. But I do see it as like, God's mind is an open playground, so to do all kinds
Mhm.
of things. Yeah.
Love
That's a
that.
beautiful
Okay.
way to say it. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. And that shows that there's different levels of the Matrix, which we'll talk about a little bit
Mhm.
more.
Mhm.
But does the Matrix exist in Tartaria outside of what we are calling or we're calling the ice wall?
Mhm.
How does that look?
Yeah, it exists everywhere. As long as there's some kind of a
Mhm.
material matter or something you can tangibly touch and stuff, then it exists in some shape or form. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, exactly. So, like the Pleiadians, they have, a construct where they live. A planet is a matrix as
Mhm.
well, because really a planet is a being, but we see it as a planet.
Right.
So, everything is a matrix unless you're just floating and you have no body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Okay. So we know that words were created, especially the English language, for spell casting us. For instance, the word phonics, it's so similar actually to the word Phoenician. You wonder if there's a reason for that. Maybe the Phoenicians created phonics. And how do words affect the matrix, basically?
Okay.
Well, they affect your thoughts.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, your thoughts form a lot of the matrix.
Right. Because
Hmm.
you're perceiving it from an outside sense coming to you instead of you perceiving it from you, looking at it from your point of view. It's like everything's outside of you, but whatever it's saying and it does, I mean, you react to it, and that is what makes the decision on what the next thing happens. Your decision creates the next scene, no matter what it is. But your words, because don't pay attention to the outside words, pay attention to your own words on the inside. That way you control it. You're speaking, what you want as you're going forward instead of the environment speaking to you, you know.
Hmm.
So,
That's
Money's
awesome.
like a prime example for people.
mhm.
You know, they talk about their situation, they're obsessed with their situation, maybe with their neighbors, and they're repeating that. And then they get more of it, of the lack, or maybe they're very wealthy and their neighbors are very wealthy. So either one, but think about it before you speak it out too, because it makes
Right.
it stronger when you speak it.
Exactly. Just like we were talking about last night, honey, about the Vatican putting out all this stuff here about
Mhm.
ghost and all this kind of good stuff and demon face. Is they're putting it into your head. Now you're the one who has to decide if you're going to accept it and then speak it. You know,
Mhm.
whenever you speak it, then you make it more tangible and more real. So, but whenever
Yep.
you say, I don't allow that because that's not, that's not where my path is going, you can deter from that. But they are putting out all kinds of information to distract us and get us to repeat it for them. So they've been doing that for a long time. So,
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that'll expose the Vatican, actually. It's
mhm.
going to help expose them.
Yeah. I mean, their
Yeah.
telescope is called Lucifer. I mean, but that's not, that's a red flag, people.
Yes.
Okay, that was really good. So when we see videos, mostly from TikTok, of matrix glitches like water droplets frozen in the air, animals freezing in
Mhm.
time, etc., what exactly is happening during those glitches?
I think it's the hologram. So that was most likely an NPC or somebody or an animal that you were trying to see,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and then it glitches. And it's glitching because you need it to glitch so you can pay
Right.
attention.
Right. And it
Mhm.
causes change whenever we see the change and see the difference. It strikes our curiosity. So, we want to go into what is that? What caused that? And therefore, whenever we discover that, that we are in a matrix or a dream of sorts, these glitches are happening so that we can start seeing that it's a matrix, that it's a dream. And those things are really prominent whenever they're floating in the air. I mean, what else can you say? But it lets us know that this is some kind of a program, and God is allowing this so that we can make that adjustment and change by asking those questions of what just happened.
Mhm.
Oh,
Very cool. So when the parallels were sandwiched together like layers of cake,
mhm,
did that affect the matrix, or does that have any effect on the matrix?
It does because they influence each other energetically,
Mhm.
mhm,
you know.
yeah,
So that's why you want to be careful about the people that you're hanging out with,
mhm,
like where are they at in the parallels? Because you could be dragging yourself down,
right,
in the parallels. Yeah.
right. It's kind of like they're on top of each other, but there's jetties and it flows up and down like this here. And then people get caught in those jetties because of their beliefs and so forth, because that part is touching this part. And it does, it can cause us to sway off and come back and forth because of that ripple or that contact between the two, because they do play off of each other, and it is trying to merge us to a higher level. So that higher level is merging with us to pull us up. So,
Mm.
Mhm.
Wow. So can you find more of the matrix in lower timelines versus higher timelines, or is it an equal potency of matrix in all of the timelines? If that makes
I
sense.
would say there's more programming in the lower parallels.
yeah, because it's more solidified, it's harder, it's
Mhm.
denser. So it would be harder to see things in an environment that is so solidified like that. Where we're at, because it's a lot lighter and more fluctuating, these things can come in. So yeah, the further down it gets harder. Because I mean, look at a planet. A planet is hard. That's pretty hard.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and think
Okay.
about like how you feel, like if you're feeling really dense and really unhappy,
Mhm.
then somebody who feels like that all the time is in a lower parallel because that's
right.
their normal behavior and they're going to feel more stuck.
Right. That's exactly right. Because God told me that whenever you feel like you're a pressure cooker or something other, that's a good sign that you're stuck in time. To let it go so you can flow with it. So I do tell
Mhm.
quite a few people like that, try to get rid of that pressure cooker feeling, because you don't want to be stuck in time and be drugged backwards. You want to release it so that you can go forwards. And that is with forgiveness and going through your own dark nights of the soul and so forth.
Mm.
Mhm.
That makes a lot of sense. And then that's a part of what Honey you do in Healing with Honey, which is the shadow
Mhm.
healing and all of that in the other
Mhm.
program.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does an awake and aware red pilled light worker with a big consciousness have an effect on the matrix? Let's say they're in um, like a mediocre timeline. What type of effect do they have?
They make ripples.
Right.
So as they grow, the people around them feel that energy, just like the solar stuff, is coming from the souls, like the
Mhm.
Schumann resonance. It's that same way, really. Like it's getting pushed out.
Right.
And you could be affecting millions of people depending on how big you are,
Right.
you know.
Well, when I first I looked at the grid, I mean, just using the United States for a thing. You know how you can see a picture of it at night, and you can see all the lights everywhere that shows the cities and the lines and stuff like here. Where God allowed me to see that all of us are those lights like that, where each little stars run around. But out in the mix of all of those lights, you have these really bright lights. These souls that are a lot more higher frequency and vibration, and wherever they go, they're kind of like leaving trails for the other ones, and they pick it up just like us. We wake up one person, and that person wakes up another person, and so forth. But yeah, you can see these bigger lights, like we are, that are walking through the crowds. Because we're all being so much more energy sucked in, and now our brothers and sisters are starting to shine that same way too. See, it does have an effect if it is a higher being. I mean, if it was like Jesus, imagine everything would be okay, right? So, yeah. So, but we're having to do it our way, so to speak. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool.
And we
So,
trigger people too.
Yes.
So think about Jesus. How many people did he trigger? A
mhm,
lot of people. And then he ended up being taken out because of he was triggering people. And I don't think he got taken out the way they say,
Right.
but he still got taken out, and that was because he was triggering.
Right. Right. Well, it used to be when something shined like that, the bad guys and stuff and the entities would attack it to keep it
mhm,
at bay so that it would not affect everybody else. Well, now we don't have to worry about that like we did before. So these lights get to shine and spread that out to their brothers and sisters around them. So, and it does, the bubble just gets bigger and bigger in your own. I mean, it's like we started out with like 15 feet on each side, and now we're well over, some of us have 3,000 feet on each side. It's how much you're feeling and absorbing that energy and sharing it, because it comes in, you share it, and it causes the cycle. It just keeps on flowing. So,
Mhm. You can consciously grow it too.
absolutely. Yeah, like your
Like, yeah,
bubble.
yeah. Yeah, as a bubble.
Mhm.
that, that's very good. With regards to detoxing. So, Honey, you did a recent video about detoxing and said that some of the people who took this, we're not going to say it, were able to transmute the toxic cocktail almost immediately and heal themselves.
Mhm.
So just like the movie, The Matrix, Neo learns how to stop bullets in The Matrix, and he comes into his own basically. So what practical tools can we use today to break out of the Matrix? Like, what are we actually doing when we're transmuting?
I'm gonna let you start. You start, Alisa.
On you won't know, you're talking about the transmuting of ourselves to the next level, or just the next vibration.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
well,
detoxing. Mm-hmm.
with the toxics, well, one of the first things that you can do, my brothers and sisters, is, go back to the very first thumb rule, loophole that people have forgotten about, and that is to pray over everything that you have. Your food, your water, your garden, your animals, your children, because
Mhm.
you're speaking what God has told us in the beginning. Pray for it, give thanks for it, sing while you're cooking, and that energizes it, and it pushes us forwards, and it actually makes your bubble expand, and it helps those around you and expand. But in those kind of moments, just stay forwards and put out everything because whenever, how in the winter you can breathe and you can see it.
Mhm.
Right. Well, imagine yourself in that bubble, and then that bubble is your only air. It doesn't get replaced. It's your bubble of air. And every time you speak out that positive stuff, it fills that bubble with it. Okay. And do you need, that's the reason why the words are magic. The more you do it, the more potent it becomes. And that helps with the transcending and the transmutation of where we're going, is to be that more positive energy, because it will start showing with the glitches. It'll start showing with yourself. Or when Dayna said, she had a gray hair that turned back black, just different little things like that, it can affect it. And it's our belief that makes it either solidify or just a dream. So,
Mhm. Exactly. Which is basically what I was gonna say. You
mhm,
create whether it's real or not.
mhm,
So what is your perception of it? And you need to get to the point where you clear it subconsciously where you know that the spoon, like when Neo is bending the spoon, the
Yeah.
message was the spoon wasn't really there at all. So of course he could do whatever he wanted with it.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want with whatever is in your system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of going through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us are doing that in multiple ways. And sometimes you need to surround it. So you may do a more matter-based thing and a energetic based thing and prayer, like a spiritual based thing. You may do all of them
Right.
and triangulate on whatever it is too.
Yeah, because I mean, even I take a marker whenever I get back from shopping, and I'll put love on everything, you know, and that way it doesn't matter if even if it's in the cupboard. Whenever I go to get it, the first thing I'm going to see is love, you know. But try to start doing things better, things for your body if you can. If you can't afford organic foods, then you pray over what you have, even if you buy organic stuff. But the toxins in your body, you can control that because it's your belief factor. Now, I do know that we had the nano things in us, and that helped control us a lot better. And therefore, we couldn't have time to think. We couldn't have time to imagine, couldn't grasp any of this stuff. But since that has been pretty much turned off, look at our brothers and sisters. They're asking the questions. Nobody's stopping them. They're doing their research. They're feeling better, and they're imagining this future that's coming because we're allowed to do that. And that's because the things that was in our body had been turned off. But the things that are, they're still there. I don't think they're affecting as much as they used to, but it's your belief. You know, it is your belief on how you perceive it. And just say, God, thank you for taking all of it out of my body. You're talking to God right here in your body. You know, this is it. Talk to it. I mean, every cell in your body is somebody that you've seen. You know, it's like honey is a cell of my body, Dayna is a cell of my body, and God is putting it out through my heart so that I can visually see it so that I may learn something or gain some experience from it. But it's my choice on whether how I treat it is going to make the next thing happen for me. It's good or positive, good or bad. It's your decision.
No. I love that. I love what you said about just, infusing it, the bubble, the light at the beginning of that question. I changed my lease recently, so I have a new car lease, and I went into the car by myself, and I just envisioned the light infusing the whole car. I spoke out loud to the car. We're working together. We're going to be safe on the road. We're going to be, everyone's going to see us. And then I put the neon bubble, like we've talked to us about. And I felt a difference in the connection. Some people use sage to clear the energy, but whatever works for you. And you said something about words, Alisa. And I think the funniest thing, one of the shows I listened to recently talked about the word abracadabra and how it's actually one of the best words to bring manifest anything into your existence. And it's one of those words that's just been run through the ringer, made a fool, used in cartoons like it's nothing, like it's something kids say or a magician would say to do some hocus pocus, when in actuality it's a really big deal. So
well, if you put your hand on your chest and you say it, you can feel the vibration of it, just like our words. And just like that song, I did about, my words are magic in the air. But if you touch your chest whenever you're speaking, like when you're praying to God or whatever, you can feel the vibration. And that's what you're putting out. Okay. So it's the same kind of thing there. So
that's good.
Oh,
Okay.
and by the way, I have tried this flower tea because I'm trying to, be good to my body. So it's going to take me some getting used to, but but I'm trying it. See, I'm making an effort, people.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. So pivoting to talking about NPCs, just to bring this into the mix, do they have an effect on the matrix other than contributing to the human bulk on the planet, like beefing up our population, basically? What else? What type of effect do they have on the matrix?
They definitely do. So some of them are human consciousness without the extra soul that is helping them ascend. So they're basically not having the advantage of ascending with a guide. So, and they're here not to play. They're here to be extra, so they will still ascend, but they're not necessarily going to ascend in their body. And that's a choice that they made by not allowing a soul to come in. A lot of them have started allowing souls to come in. Then you have the holographic version, and they only affect the matrix because of what we think about them. You know, what are our thoughts about them? And same with the people that are like, they're so stuck, you know, like we're complaining about them. How come they don't get it? You know, that kind of stuff. That's affecting us, which is affecting the matrix. So live and let live is pretty important right now.
Yeah. Who's awake is awake. And who's not, they're not right now for a reason. Okay. And there is those out there that doesn't have a guide that's guiding them because they're waiting on some kind of a sign, some kind of something that's going to trigger them. And that's going to allow them to want to go forwards and receive that help. It's just like I had said before, you know, 51% going this way and 49% going that way. And once that 49% seeing that we're not crazy when we're doing this stuff, oh, they're going to come running. But they can't just run straight into a med bed. They're going to have to start doing their work as well. And we will be there to help teach them and guide them. And they are themselves are allowing their higher self and guide to do this with them because now they're more awake and they're willing to listen. So.
And allowing whoever is choosing not to ascend in their body to go ahead and do that. And don't be so attached to what is going on with them because it just is dragging on you. And it's slowing down your own ascension process because we need to allow everybody to have their own experience. And whether they're an NPC, which means they don't have a guide, or they're a hologram or whatever they are, let them have their own experience. And I do think we will have a smaller group once the window closes because people will choose to go. But that's okay, and knowing that that's okay, and that you will see, you know, that consciousness again.
Right. And then whenever we leave, also know that you're not leaving anybody behind. We're coming back to get them. Coming back to get every one of you. Just know that. The plan is to leave nobody behind. So, I mean, it's a massive plan, but we can do it. And spoiler alert, we already won.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
So let's talk about like breaking the matrix basically. So one of the TikTok videos you shared, honey, was explaining ferrying around in the matrix. So ferrying around, for example, handing out roses to random strangers, you know, random acts of kindness, like paying toll for the car behind you, things like that, giving a stranger a compliment. So also some other simple ideas is the actual movie of the Matrix. Neo is with Morpheus, and he brings him back in the Matrix, and then a woman in a red dress walks by, and that like pushes him out of the Maya, if you will. And then also some books for guys that are trying to pick up women, they say to peacock. And I was thinking about that, so I wore my peacock earrings today. But to peacock, to wear like a big hat, or to, you know, wear a bright color, and just that's what a peacock does in nature. They, you know, fan out their feathers and they get noticed. So basically, during the lockdowns, you know, the collective pattern that was disrupted. So that was kind of like a disruption in the matrix as well. People had to stay home, etc. You know, that backfired, and more of humanity started waking up. So basically, what's happening on an energetic level to help break you out of the matrix from an energy standpoint?
All the shadows that are being healed. And also, as people start remembering how to have joy and doing some of the things that their inner child wants to do, and being silly and getting back to comedy and being random, you know, laughing for no reason. Yeah,
Or
those kind of things.
UFO videos over at Alisa's channel.
Yes.
Something to make you laugh. But yeah, stay in a good mood, get that good mindset, because the longer you stay in that, you know, it's just like a guitar string. You pluck it and it'll vibrate so much until it settles down, but you have to tighten it for it to get that higher frequency. And that's what we're doing. We're going for that higher frequency. And every time we're happy, we do something like a kind gesture or whatever, you know, the same thing, it boomerangs, it goes out and it comes back to you. And the more you do that, your mind, your body, and your heart and everything gets very used to that, you know, and therefore it just does it. And that's whenever you know that you have crossed that threshold that it's become a natural state for you, you know, commonplace for you, where you do that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is breaking out of the matrix from like a chemical perspective. So an activated pineal gland will break the matrix also. And there's 4 things that the pineal gland is highly sensitive to. So aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and Wi-Fi. So humanity has been bombarded with the nanonized aluminum in the air, glyphosate in the food, fluoride in the water, and strong Wi-Fi signals. So are the white hats reducing the and eliminating these 4 elements to help us break out of the matrix faster?
Right. Well,
Go ahead, Alisa.
It's a belief factor. Do you believe those things can affect you? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and don't focus on that, what you think can affect you, because then that means you believe it and you're looking backwards. So, you know, I know that God's got me and it's got me this far and I'm going to go forwards. And I just had an incident that is perfect for this. They come and put the smart meter on my house. And whenever I got a notice in the mail, I called them people immediately and said, no, that's not going to happen. I don't want it on my house. And then they told me literally, well, if you don't, then we're going to charge you $150 a month until you do. I said, so you're going to blackmail me? And then she said, oh, you don't have to get upset. I said, I'm not being upset. I'm telling you fact. That's blackmail. You're willing to charge me $150 a month until I change it out. So I told her, I said, you know, she says, well, you don't have to be upset. I said, well, you don't have to be a horrible person. And I hung up on her. Right. And then the lady came out here to actually put the meter up. And she was very, very nice. And I know she ain't got nothing to do with it. And then, you know, and then that moment, God said, if you make this bad, it's going to be bad. You know, so I had to stop. And I'm like, it's okay. God's got me. And she's like, excuse me. I said, do you need something to drink? I have tea and I have Pepsi. Would you like either one? She said, I'll take tea. I said, good. And then she went about her business to go put it up, because I changed that worry, that fear of it, you know, and I know that God's got me. And the meter that was on here, the old meters that is before 2000, because this is from the 70s, it had a bubble that's maybe a quarter of the size of my house. Now this new one, it covers the entire house. You know, so to me, I was like, they're really trying to get this energy into these waves and all this kind of good stuff. And then God reminded me, it is my belief and he's got me not to worry about it. And again, go back to honey with the bubbles. Do your house, put your house in that bubble too. You know, whatever it is, because you are being protected. As long as you know that you're God and God is helping you, then it will work to your advantage. Don't let these people get the best of you. So.
But I think so much of the technology's already been morphed. We don't really have to worry about much of it anyway. So being aware of that, like I don't think about the Wi-Fi. I don't think about, you know, any of it much anymore now. 4 years ago I did. And I feel like that's part of the frequency. The technology is changing too. And remember, you create it. So what do you want it to be? I mean, it basically always comes back to that.
Exactly. Yeah. So my house is covered in, you know, a beautiful bubble. I ain't even worried about that meter because, you know, it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for God. So I know God's behind everything. So I'm not going to worry about it. Now, if they start popping up towers around my house, that might be a little different. But right now I'm okay. So, but it is a belief factor. And my brothers and sisters, that's the whole point, is this matrix is going to do its best to put some kind of fear in you. And if you believe that fear, then they got you hook, line, and sinker. So.
Well, and a lot of it's programming too, at this point. It's programming within the human construct, you know, because the big souls that were really creating a lot of the more polarized stuff, they're gone. So, and the ETs that were creating that are gone. And most of the people, the deletes, they're also gone. So what do we have to be worried about, really?
Right. Well, there are even people that's been, you know, scared and asking me questions about the future technology that's coming. You know, don't be scared of it. If you worship it, then you got a problem. but it's a useful tool for us.
Mhm.
Okay. It's just a projection of the love that we have, that we want to help this environment. And those are things that are coming to us to help us with this environment and for us personally as well. So, think about the positive things. Not no AI is going to come in and take you over, because then that's what's going to happen. I hate to tell you that, but, stay to the positive side of it, that all this is coming for our benefit to make things better, not things worse. So,
Mhm. And it's just like Dayna in her car.
yeah.
Like, she's synced up with it. She went in there, she had a conversation, she loved up this car and said, "This is our relationship." And you can do that with anything because it's actually a part of you.
Right. I do that with my car. Her name is Bluebird.
Mhm.
I mean, even though she's got problems and stuff, I will literally go out there and take my little boom box with me and sit in her like old school, instead of using the radio, because that's all kind of crap I don't want to hear. I'll listen to my own music, just sitting in a car, just sitting there talking to her. I'm so grateful for you, even though you don't run right now. I am thankful because God showed me He's going to transform me into a purple Jeep. But I talk to her because she's part of my family. That's the way I see it. And whenever you give things names and stuff like this here, it makes them more real to you and actually care more about it. So, but yeah, anything like that there, name your
Mhm.
car and give it some
Mhm.
wonderful name.
Love it. Yeah. Is your car blue for Bluebird?
Yes, yes, for
Okay,
Bluebird, yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
I named the car Midnight because it's a black
Oh,
car.
there you go.
Nice.
I've never had a black vehicle before. It's always been white or silver. And I think, I don't know, I'm just moving into, and maybe like 3 weeks before, and I knew the lease was ending, so we had to get a new car. I brought out some black soap. It has like charcoal in it. And that was the
Mhm.
first black soap I ever had. So it was just leading me into the next thing, which was the black car, and it's just funny.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's good.
naming.
Midnight's a good name. I used to have a kitty cat named
Mhm.
Midnight. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the black soap, I actually just got some black scrub soap, whatever, that's
Mhm.
Hawaiian mud stuff,
It's really
and
good.
and then you got the mask that goes on after, whatever, and it's because my niece, gave it to me. She says, she says, Aunt Lisa, she goes, you need to use this. I said, why? She goes, it'll make you look younger. I said, then why do I need it? She had to think of something really quick. And she's like, well, it's because, just do something nice for yourself. But I did end up trying it. I'm sorry. I can't get into that because I tried to peel that mask off and I took all the hair off my face, and now it means it's going to come back thicker. That's not going to happen. So, but I do like the soap, the scrub, the body scrub, the black soap. I did like that. Because it does have some kind of absorbent and toxin, antitoxins to it. So yeah, I did enjoy that. I didn't like the mask though. So sorry, ladies. I didn't like it.
Hmm. That's funny. And then along those lines, honey, your trailer, you
Mhm.
were infused with teal, the new color for the
Yeah.
universe.
Mhm.
And look at the trailer. Yeah, amazing. Love it.
All
Did you
teal.
did you name your trailer or not? Not yet.
No, it's called a Roadrunner, so I just kind of stuck with that. It's a
Cool.
Roadrunner trailer. It's very old, like it's from the 60s. And my car has a name that I named it, and I put little decals on the windows, like in the very back. So that was fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep. And he's
cool.
black too. And my car is boy, he's a boy.
Yeah, most men, they actually call their cars females, stuff like this here. So I guess to me, mine's a female, but just saying Bluebird, it's either way, but
Mhm.
I'm sure it's a girl. But I do feel, that she loves me too. I know the
Yeah.
strange that, just like my house, Betty, this is not my house, but I mean, I named her Betty, but I feel like she loves me too. And because she loves me so much, thank goodness, a lot of things haven't broken. So there has been some things, and I'll have these talks with her, we're going to be here for a while, so I need you to function for me. And I'll tell that to Bluebird too. But it does seem to work out to my advantage because it's the energy that we put out, and we show these items that we love them and that they're just important to us as anything else. So.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yeah.
so nice. Mhm. So this is pretty much like wrapping up the questions that I had with regards to this. So one of the most common ways to exit the matrix
Mhm.
is said to be quitting the matrix type corporate 9 to 5 job,
Mhm.
and make your life purpose and your passion your career, your new career, or the main career. So basically our Tony Robbins, he is offering these online coaching. I mean, he's been doing this for years, so I get it. It's part of what he already does. But it's, turning your side hustle into your main career. That's what he's focused on right now. Having huge events that are all online. So is this a white hat op to motivate unawake people, knowing that we're starting our humanitarian projects, or is this just him doing it, or what's happening there?
It's both.
Mm,
I think he is like, getting, I would say there's a little bit of a push from the white hats, but he may not actually know that.
mhm.
But he's got inspiration. Now that could be coming from the souls talking to his soul and saying, hey, we need you to work on this. Get the collective to start, seeing that it's time for them to realize who they are and what they want to do. And what I've done for that is to work on anything that was in the way, and then also create the way to do it that is, and I'm working on this part, making it easier and easier to actually execute it. But it really letting go of the programming that's in the way is the first thing.
Mhm. Yeah. As old as we are, you would think, oh, we're an adult, we can do this. No, it's harder as an adult. So, but the more you do it, just like any kind of habit and routine, you can change it if you really have good intentions within you, so you can teach old dog new tricks, so to speak. So,
Yeah. And realizing that you're worthy of it, that you matter, that whatever it was in your childhood that you were told money doesn't grow on trees or whatever, like all of that stuff, erasing it. So going through and erasing it really helps. And then talking to your business like it's a person, because it's a
we're
part of
all
you.
here because we love y'all so much.
Yeah.
Help with this because we love, because you're so worthy, my brothers and sisters, and we know that in the depths of our beingness, we know that because you are us.
Yeah.
It's raining. I hear thunder.
Oh.
Good. It was raining here earlier. I'm trying to get my lighting right, and now the sun is out and I've looked like an albino. So it's just, letting yourself have joy in
Right.
the way that you are inspired to do it, and asking for the signs that will take you along the way,
Mhm.
and knowing that you trust it.
Right.
So Tony Robbins is a great inspirational person. I don't know what kind of support he's offering, but work on yourself, work on the inside, because that's what reflects in the outside
Mhm. I
for
seen
your
Tony
projects.
Robbins in Houston, and I think it was an 88 or 89, I think something like that there. But he
That's
has
awesome.
so much presence, so much energy, and to me, he looked like a football player up there trying to motivate people and stuff like this here. And back in the day, that was a fine drink of water, ladies. But but still, he had that energy, and that is really good. That is something that he uses to speak to people and motivate them. So, we have that as well. So whatever motivates you in that sense, I wouldn't suggest like, somebody does hypnotism and stuff like this here, but somebody like Tony Robinson that has that energy that they project, that's definitely something you want to be more around. So,
Yeah, working on your ego, working on your traumas, releasing that stuff is going to help you go further and further and further. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
That's awesome. You can almost see it, like when you just said that, I saw weights on my feet, shackles, and every time I do shadow work, I release one of those weights. And let's say I'm in the ocean, I keep going higher because I keep releasing weights. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we are all worthy of releasing that weight for that we may float up. And which reminds me, there was a lady, and her name is Barbara Fay, and I hope that she's watching this. It came to me that she wanted me to do a song called Moon Lake, Mississippi, and she didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, but it was her energy that was given to me that inspired me to do that. So I did do the song for you, Barbara Faye, if you're watching this. So just so you know, but without them even realizing you're giving out some energy because somebody gave it to you, and therefore they think, oh, something's not possible or whatever, without you even realizing it. It does, you know, because out of
Mhm.
all the people that, you know, that has left me comments and stuff, she was saying, you know, I'm from Mississippi and there's this beautiful lake there and it's called Moon Lake. And I thought that's a really cool name. You know, I like that. So it inspired me. Without her realizing what she did, she inspired me. Without me realizing what I did, I did something for her in return. So it's an energy exchange is my point.
Mhm. Yeah. And that's where it will be at in the future. We will have this brief period of time where everybody will be massively abundant and we will be just doing projects all over the place. But once those are done and once this foundation is built, we're not really going to need that material abundance anymore. And it will be energetic abundance that we're really using in the
Exactly.
future and exchanging.
More of a
But don't
bar.
sell yourself short either. A lot of people, they'll say, well, I'm doing this and it's, you know, work for the collective and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to charge anything for that. But what they're doing is eventually they will run out of energy because nobody gave them any energy back. And some people may do an exchange of something, but in general, you know, it is easier to charge for your things that you're doing, even if it's donation based.
Right. Right.
So remembering that and not to be a martyr while you go through your
Right.
process. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
since I've been back on the scene, all of my brothers and sisters that I've had the privilege of speaking to, the energy exchanges has been phenomenal. You know, and I'm like, this is so good because it's pinging pong off of me, you know,
Mhm.
and I have enjoyed it very, very much. But I also have the realization that each person that I speak to and talk to, you know, they are me, and I need to keep that in mind. You know, what am I learning from this person? How can I help this person? You know, and it's like if everybody, if you really thought about that, when you see whoever that is you, how would you treat it? That would make your life so much different, and it would make your answers different, your patience different, and
Mhm.
our intuition is something that we need to use. And I came across this here really good scenario, that something that we have that we just either refuse to use it or lost it or we don't know we have it. So, and I was playing a video game for about a year. And in this game, you have to get through the first part of it, which is pretty hard. Okay. You know, and here I am just dying, and I'm getting aggravated, but I keep picking up these little items. Okay. And I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just kind of in a huff trying to get through it. And I pick up a skull and I put it in my pocket. Right. No biggie. Stick it in my inventory. Cool. It's a skull. And I played this game for about a year. And I'm telling you, ladies, the turmoil that I went through just to get through the first part of this game was just like my little own hell. It's like, I can't, how am I going to do this? You know, because it was really difficult. And then I just happened to look through my inventory and I happened to be reading some stuff and I come across this skull. Oh, I just could have kicked myself. I just could kick myself. It is what it is you throw it and these things go to it, not you. So then I was like, are you kidding me? I had this for a whole year. And I didn't even realize I had it. It's just like our intuition is something that we have that we don't realize we have. So then I'm going through the game and I'm throwing these suckers and, you know, and I'm running through, I'm God, you know, nobody can touch me. So, but it just shows that we have things in our inventory or in our pockets that we don't even realize that we have or we forgot that we have.
Mhm.
You know, and our intuition and our instincts is definitely one of the things, and common sense is something that people seem to have lost. And I can see my brothers and sisters getting all of that back because we do remember that we have that already. We just forgot that we had it. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
I,
yeah.
I just did 2 videos today, you know, recording them for my channel, and I called it cheat codes to, you know, fertility, cheat codes to uh, like a calm childbirth. And it's based off of get video games, which is what you just brought up, you know, find your cheat codes. Not that you're cheating, but you're getting around the hard, difficult stuff. Like there are things built in the matrix to
Mhm.
help us get through it with, you know, grace and ease and flow. So we have to find
Yes,
it. And a
read
lot
the
of
description because you don't know how good it could help you.
right.
Yes.
A lot of
But
it's
think
energy.
about it. I
omen.
did get through it without the skulls. Eventually, I got through it without the skulls. So that's determination. You know, I did accomplish that. But the moment I had them suckers and I can just run through there, I tell you, I felt like I was butt naked in a moonlight lake, just running. It was great. So, but it did take away from that challenge, you know.
That's funny. Yeah, when I was looking at the videos about the Matrix, the actual movie itself, the first Matrix the architect created, when Neo gets to talk to the architect, it was paradise. And it was rejected by the humans because they needed a little bit something that was more realistic. So they
Right.
made another Matrix. The second Matrix was completely like suppressed degradation. The machines were controlling them, and that one failed as well. And then the Oracle came in and was created by the systems. And then she saw that you need choice has to be a part of this. So basically, choice and like your desires will force you through the matrix.
Right.
It continued to be dissolved by the one. I think the last Matrix, Neo, was actually the sixth one, like the one person. But basically, choice gets us through the matrix, basically. And
Mhm.
we're still going to have some semblance of the matrix, it sounds like, when we move into the higher dimensions, but it's going to be beneficial. It's going to be beautiful, happy, just like you said at the beginning of the video, that the Palladians, they also have a matrix that they're working with. So I think that's
Right.
interesting. Like it won't necessarily, it's going to morph. It won't go away, but it's going to morph into something that we love.
Well, at least we'll be able to go visit their matrices now, you know, in the future, you know, and see something totally different. Instead, they're definitely going to be on better positive energy. So, yeah.
Yeah, the third density and the fourth density are going to go eventually. So they'll just disappear. So fifth density, there's still matter, like we're still creating matter, but you also have no veil. So you're going to have a lot more of awareness what's actually going on
Mhm.
and a lot more choices.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a lot more fun, actually, I think. And
Yes.
humanity was in the fifth density and decided to drop,
Mhm.
agreed to drop so that intense learning could happen. And I do think that that got taken advantage of and went too far, but that has also been fixed at this point. So we need to realize that, yes, we can now bounce up
Mhm.
and quit looking to the past
Right.
to be, you know, being afraid.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah, that's huge. I have a friend in the family, and she is like the archetype of the creative mother. She wakes up at 5 a.m., she goes running, she's in half marathons, she gets all three of her kids to school, activities. They do all these great fun things. They only watch 1 hour of TV because they have all these like arts and crafts they get to do. And when this past shadow, this divine feminine shadow came through, it hit her really hard. And I think I needed to see that. Everyone in the family needed to see it. She was diagnosed with pneumonia, and then she went into the hospital and they diagnosed her with mono on top of the pneumonia. And then when she left the hospital, she came home, she realized she had lice. So it was like this crazy trifecta.
Wow.
And she was sleeping, and she said her parents, they're both deceased, they came into her, or you know, passed over, they came into her dreams and said, you're going to be fine, you're just getting through this, you know, don't give up. She was never going to give up, but this is someone that is very active, and she really had to really slow down. So you can tell, not that she wasn't doing her work, I wouldn't say that, but at the same time, you know, people all have different ways of working through their stuff. For
Mhm.
me, I delayed a video with Gene and then D and then Code on the baby and then farms and you know, stuff that we can't really talk about here. That's why it's on you know, platform that starts with Bumble, rhymes with Bumble. But I did that video with him, and I don't know why it took me 6 months, but now I do. Like I did it during the shadow. So I think that shadow and then the divine masculine shadow, I think all of that is we're in the entrails of it, but it's really making a big difference for a lot of people. And I'm just, if anyone is still being affected by that, just know that you're at the end of it. It'll be
Right.
okay.
Yeah, we're
Mhm.
really healing at this point. It was
Mhm.
a super rough shadow experience, like healing, but that was the agreement that was being healed.
Mhm.
So that agreement that humanity made to be suppressed,
Mhm.
that was taken away with the shadow. And so when you break a contract, you have to forgive.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that easy for everybody.
Right. But I do know the higher we make our frequency, it's like the lower frequency things can't be around us. And,
Mhm.
you know, like mosquitoes, those negative things will be further away from us the more
Yeah.
positive we are. And that includes, anything in the outer matrix. I did see that, God's bringing in these new creatures and stuff like it's just going to acclimate into our world, but the safety of these creatures seem to be a priority. So that means, and then God said, we have to remove the negative. I said, what do you mean you're going to remove the negative? I thought it was already gone, but now then he shows me that snakes and crocodiles and stuff like this here will be removed because those are negative beings. Okay. And you can't have those. It's a split. So not only are we being split, the negative and positive, but the animal section is also going to be split so that it can be safe as well to be able to dwell without being in harm's way. And but these things were put into our matrix by the negative people, especially mosquitoes. They're not supposed to even be here. But they do serve a purpose. I understand now over the time that they've been here, but those are negative things that they put upon us that make us deal with to cause us stress or infection or whatever it may be that the mosquitoes can
Mhm.
get, malaria and stuff like that. So, but off it's
Yeah,
going to go.
it will. There'll still be snakes, but they won't be biting you. They won't be
Right.
venomous. Yeah. Because they do serve a purpose.
Mhm.
And they are a symbol of knowledge. So if you have a dream about a snake, ask, is it a knowledge, symbol for you, or is it something else? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. There is a snake that actually has at the tail where you would see like rattlers on a rattlesnake. It actually has what looks like a spider, and it'll sit there and it'll jog it. So something will come and get it. So you know what? I've never seen that before. I've never seen it, even know little sucker exists. But it shows me the diversity that we have even in our animal kingdom for survival. But like I said, the negative things that's more meant to harm will slowly disappear, just like the negative people around us will slowly
Mhm.
disappear. So yeah.
Yep. It's going to be really, really fun. It's getting fun already. So
Yes, it
even
is.
this last shadow, it was really intense for a lot of people, but
Mhm.
I feel like everybody is now starting to feel grateful for it.
Mhm. Yeah, all the valuable lessons we learn, and
Mhm.
we do learn these things in that kind of mentality sense, as an adult, finally, kind of thing, we figure it out. And then we have somewhat compassion for those that are younger than us because we see them trying to figure it out. So, and we're doing the best we can to help them, but that light bulb will go off for everybody eventually. And that is part of waking you up and going forward just for that moment that caused you to stop and think, or like Dana's friend going through something that caused her to stop and think, or the thing that we all went through, to see people had to stop and think. So it serves a purpose. So
So good. Yeah,
Yep.
just to talk about the inner child as we wrap this up with regards to that. I was bathing the kids last night and they just, they did something that just made them burst out laughing. And then they couldn't stop laughing and they were both laughing at each other and saying it back to each other. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, it was just great to just be in that energy and just watch it and to like soak it in, and it's amazing. So whether you don't have to have children to have that as an example, but just
mhm.
that in that joy, that inner child, the laughing and like the hysterical laughing where you start crying and you can't stop, and the younger one laughs. His laugh is so like contagious. Like, as soon as you hear them laugh, you want to laugh. So it's great. So just finding those moments of joy, just like we said in the video, it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's contagious, and it's definitely a good medicine for the body,
Yes.
So go
Yeah.
find things you watch and stuff like this. Find the humorous things, that keeps you in that good mood, And I
Mhm.
love to hear children laugh. That's one of the greatest sounds that I've experienced in this lifetime, is to hear children laugh. It's just something about it is so precious, and somehow in a way that a lot of people, has lost that. And just sit and listen sometimes. You'd be surprised on the frequency that hearing children laugh, what it does to the body. To me, it's one of the greatest sounds I've ever heard, because it makes my body feel so thankful to be able to see it and feel it, because it's so precious. Instead of them being sad or aggravating us for this, that, or the other thing, I'd much rather them be happy. So,
So fun.
Yeah,
Alisa,
and little animal videos,
mhm.
kid videos where they're being ridiculous. There was this little girl, and she was dancing around and performing for her parents, and she was a fairy, and then she farted, and she's she was probably like 2.5, 3 years old, right? And everybody totally busted up that was watching her, and she's like very indignant and was like, fairies have to fart too. And then she went on with her show, and just stuff like that. Watch that, enjoy it, like allow yourself to just get absorbed in the silliness of joy.
yeah, that
Yeah.
somebody had done the children, the little baby versions of the debate, and it was like baby Trump and baby Biden. Oh my God, it's all like whoever did that, thumbs up, man. That was really good. And it wasn't the point of what they were saying, because it was the fact that just hearing all of that come out of these little kids, it was just hilarious. So I would definitely go try to look that up. I can't remember what it was called, but it was baby Trump and baby Biden, having a debate, and it was hilarious. So.
Yeah.
I love it.
So even in that kind of thing, you can still find a offshoot of it, that somebody has a sense of humor to go with it, to make us want to pay attention a little bit better. So,
And it is silly. I mean, what we watched was silly. It was a show, and realizing that and not giving it a bunch of emotional attention, like
mm,
that's important. Like, what do you want your attention to be focused on? Because you're going to create more of it.
yeah,
So being aware of that, but it was so ridiculous. I can only watch probably like 3 or 4 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I see the way this is going, and that's good.
yeah,
I've
the
seen
baby
enough.
version was a
Yeah.
lot better. Yeah. But it
Yeah.
was it's kind of like the final showdown, is to let people see, that we're at this end. Even his own people want him out, and that was the whole point, was
Oh,
for
yeah.
us to see that he bombed so bad, and now his own team is wanting him to get out. So they have plans to do this. This was already a pre-plan, but I am looking forward to the end of this year or so, because I do know that a lot of things is going to be not what we expect. And then next year will be our catapult, and it will be like no year before it. So it's just, you can just start seeing how it's playing out. Something's going to come of this. We know that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of the positive things, and knowing that the outcome is for the benefit of us all, and that's why we're being showed this. Because now, think about it, this time around, there's more of us on board that's not going to allow this crap to happen again.
Right.
We are awake, and it served its purpose, because it took that long to wake up the majority of us, for us to finally stand up and say, this is enough. We're taking back control. You can't change that,
Mhm.
So what do they say? You can't stop what's coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
No.
Beautiful.
Yay.
We're
Yes.
there, everybody. We are there. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put honey in that next time, because I think that might help. So I didn't put no sugar or nothing in it. It's just a flour tea.
Oh, yeah. A little sweetener in there.
Yeah, some honey would have been okay, I reckon, but that's okay. I'm learning, and I'm, starting to, really absorb. Well, I've been absorbing the feminine energy, like from ladies like you and somebody's here, and then I've had people make their comments here lately that, Alisa, you get on them things and you talk to these people and you're just yourself and blah 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 blah, and then we go and listen to some of your songs and it's all that feminine energy. It's like, where's that coming from? So see, it is in me. It is, and it's trying to get
Mhm.
out. And I'm allowing it to, and it is a wonderful feeling. So if I haven't thanked all of you ladies, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful feminine energy with me, because God's been letting me have it little drops at a time, so that as I go forwards into the future, I'm going to be that beautiful feminine Scarlett O'Hara. You heard
There
me.
you go.
Gonna happen.
There you go.
No.
And you'll have your flower tea, which is part of breaking your own matrix.
Mhm.
You
That's
know.
true.
Hmm.
Right. We
Very
love your
fun.
music. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you
we
for
do.
that.
That's
Yeah.
Well, have
fantastic.
y'all heard of the blue tea?
Oh yeah.
So what do you know?
Is it the pea flower tea or is it the blue lotus tea?
I think it's a pea flower tea, the blue pea
Yeah,
flower.
it's just really healthy. It has a lot of great minerals and stuff in it for you. Yeah.
All right. Well, I
The
thought
blue
since I have
lotus
one, I
tea
wanted to
is a
know.
little bit psychedelic, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, this
Yeah.
here is some kind of a bouquet of flowers. I could see that there was different flowers in there, but it tastes like a flower garden. I ain't gonna lie about that. So,
There you go.
but yeah, I wanted to know about the blue one though, because I've heard a couple of other ladies talking about it, and I just couldn't remember what they said it was for particularly. So,
I don't remember myself.
the antioxidant, I think, is what it is, an antioxidant or
Yeah,
something.
it's really good for you. Butterfly pea flower,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I got 6 different ones in a little pack off of Amazon, just so that I can try it and stuff like that there. But yeah, that one's in there.
Cool.
But thank you, ladies, for the suggestion. I'm making an effort. So, I
Thank
might even
you.
put a bow in my hair. You never know. Uh,
Awesome.
Was
Thank you,
wonderful.
Dayna. This was beautiful.
My
yes, thank
pleasure.
you, Dana.
Yes.
I do hope that your birthday party thing all turned out really wonderful and stuff, because I hadn't heard you mention anything of it since then. But I do know that you had a good time. And thank you for those pictures that you sent me and honey. I just really, it's like,
Awesome.
man, that is so nice. And a rainbow to
Mhm.
boot. That was your sister or your sister-in-law?
Yeah. My sister was in Fort Lauderdale, so a little staycation. That's probably half an hour from her house. Took the kids for 2 nights. That was nice. Hubby and I got to relax. But yeah, that double rainbow, it was popping up everywhere on the East
Wow.
Coast in that Fort Lauderdale, Miami, North Miami area. And we saw so many videos on TikTok and
Wow.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that same video you shared, honey, with the person, like my neighbor knocked on my door, you have to see this. And then she came out and the rainbow was fantabulous.
Mhm.
I think it was the same rainbow. Just so cool. And it the
Yeah, and because
double.
of that is why I thought about the leprechaun.
That's yeah. I started putting that together for me. That was perfect. That was awesome.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
and it's going up at 5 o'clock on the channel for everybody else to be able to hear it and
Yeah.
enjoy. So, but
Mhm.
yes, I do like the humor of it. So please, by all means, go on over to check it out. Just, and Honey's too. Hers is really, really good too, because I like the
It's
fact
great.
that she's just
Yeah.
in awe of this, and John gets in a trance. So, so
Yeah. It's so funny. John's like, what? What's happening? I don't understand what's happening.
And my son is like, Mom, how do you come up with this stuff? I said, because it just comes to me. And I
Mhm.
love the humor of it, that I can add this element so that our brothers and sisters can find some kind of laughter, even in the music. So, and of course, all
Mhm.
the other ones that are heartfelt and from God to motivate us. So, but yes, it's been my honor to do that though. I mean, really, it's been making my side very happy with that energy, because it is flowing
Mhm.
to me and I get to express it to all you beautiful people.
Mhm. It's
It is
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely where I would go peruse Elisa's channel and Dana's channel. And I'm gonna put
Absolutely.
those below.
Yes, I will
So
too.
yep.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So,
Perfect.
so, but I thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me here today. And
Aw.
as usual, I tell everybody, you know, please remember you're everything that you see, no exception. So be kind to it, you know, and how much that we love y'all and all that kind of good
Mhm.
stuff. Mhm.
Yes, we do.
Mhm. Lots of love.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Bye.